What's up guys? Hello and welcome in the series of the Vue Storefront tutorials. Today I will show you how to use Magento CMS blocks and pages in the Vue Storefront application. However, if you think it will be easy, or fast, or you can learn it in 5 minutes, then you're goddamn right. Let's start. We start with creating a new CMS page in Magento. To do that, you can use the Magento instance that we have created in the previous tutorial. If you do not have it, please check that video. The link is in the description. Open the admin panel. Input the login and the password. Now select Content, Pages. We are going to create a completely new page. Click on Add New Page. Input the page title. Open the Content tab and click on the Edit with Page Builder. Now let's add the new row and the header inside and add some text here. Next, I'm going to add an image. Let's pick something nice. Let's stop here for a moment. There is a limitation of what elements you can use and expect them to work. Basically, you can't use elements like sliders or any that require JavaScript to work. That JS code is not a part of the final content and will not be pulled into the Vue Storefront. Also, such an approach wouldn't be really performant. For such complex tasks, you should use more powerful tools or dedicated CMSs like Contentful, Prismic or Storyblock. However, you can still use raw HTML and its attributes like classes or IDs for styling or scripting on the storefront side. To prove it later, let's add the HTML element. Inside, add the paragraph with the ID awesome paragraph and add some content here. Now let's save the page. Pay attention to the URL key on that page and remember it. We will use it later to find that page on the storefront. If you haven't started the Vue Storefront application yet, then do that now. Run it in the dev mode for a nice hot reload and other benefits. If you are wondering how much more work there is to render that page, I have good news. Do you remember the URL key I told you to bear in mind? Now use it as a part of the URL. And there you go, this is the page you have just created in Magento. Well done! There are two ways of how you can add styles to the CMS page. You can add all styles inside the CMS page in the Magento, or you can do that in the Vue component. Let's explore both possibilities. Go back to the Magento admin panel and open the page for edit. Now add the styles tag and set the font size. Then save now. Switch back to the storefront and reload the page. As you can see, styles are applied. Now let's do the same but in the storefront app. Let's find the CMS page. At the very bottom, add your styles. Let's say that we want to change the background of our paragraph. Be sure to remove the scope attribute, otherwise Vue will change its classes and IDs identifiers, but will not change the attributes that comes from external source. I will not be able to properly apply styles. Switch back to the page. As you can see, the paragraph now has the cool background. And this is basically it when it comes to the CMS pages. Based on that, you can implement more complex and better looking solutions. It is easy to add a CMS page in the Vue Storefront, but how does it work? How is the storefront able to resolve that URL and understand what to look for? Let's find out. The first thing to understand is the URL resolver. This is the middleware script responsible for mapping the URL path to the Magento route object. Firstly, it clears the URL. The first replace method call is a fallback to remove legacy C and P prefixes, which were marking categories and products in the previous versions. The second replace method call removes the store name from the path because it cannot be passed in the URL to GraphQL. Therefore, path like this will be translated into this. Such clear path will be now sent to the GraphQL route endpoint to get the full details for a specified product, category or CMS page. The result of requests will be then stored in the Pinia store for any further request until you change the route or reload the page. The second piece is the router.js configuration script. Here are defined two routes, home and page. We are interested in the page route. The Slack uses the advanced routing pattern and matches this, but not the slash. Page view component is the resolver for this route, so let's open it. As you can see, here's defined the middleware URL resolver. For every request, this middleware script will be executed. And as we already know, with every execution, it will try to match the route, make a call to get data about this route and store it in the Pinia store. Based on the result and the object type, the component is dynamically created. So if we go back to our CMS page, the name of the page is passed as an argument in the query. The route is matched. The Vue Storefront knows that this is a CMS page and will render it with the CMS Vue component. Now let's dive into another piece of CMS functionality, the CMS block. Firstly, I'm going to create a block that I will use later in the Storefront custom page. As previously, log into the Magento admin panel, go to the Content tab, but this time open Blocks Elements. Here press Add New Block, input the block title, add the identifier. Now edit the block with a page builder. Add a new row and add some simple text content. Add an image if you want to. All rules we discussed about pages applies here, so let's just save the block. Now let's switch to the Vue Storefront. Make sure that your storefront is up and running in the developer mode. Our goal is to add a custom page with the CMS block that we have just created. So add a new page in the pages directory. Let's name it test block. You will be able to render this page later using its name in the URL. Now add the template schema inside. Add a script tag with the TypeScript support. To display the block, we can use ready components. Content block if you want to render a single block, or content blocks if you want to render multiple blocks. Because we want to render only one block, let's use the content block component. Import that component in the page and add it in the template. There are two props, the content, which is the HTML content that will be rendered inside the component, and the title. We do not have the content yet, so let's add an empty object for now. However, we can add the title, so let's do this. Now we must somehow fetch CMS block data. To do that, I'm going to use the useContent composable and the loadBlocks method. I want to load blocks filtered by the identifier into the reactive variable, so I will use the useAsync hook to do that. As a parameter, I pass the identifiers array with only one identifier that matches my CMS block. I store the result in my block variable. I could return my blocks now like that, but I prefer to return only one block instead of an array. I'm going to use the computed function to achieve that and store the result in the awesome block variable. Now I can replace the return object and update the content variable in the content block component. Let's check if the block is rendered properly on our page. But there is something wrong. The image is duplicated? Well, why? If you investigate the source, you will notice that one image is for the desktop and the second one is for the mobile. This is how Magento stores data about images in the CMS blocks if you use the page builder. For now, let's just hide the mobile image with CSS. To do that, let's add an unscoped style tag and set display none on the mobile only class. Now save and let's see if that helped. Yes, now it looks good. Only one image is displayed. Of course, for the production you should do something better than just hiding the image with CSS, but for our purpose it's just enough. And that's it. We have just created the custom page with a CMS block inside. Well done!